wanted to talk about going with the current of life. This is a really simple concept, but as humans we tend to overcomplicate it like most things. It's spoken a lot about in Taoism, I think that's how you say it, or Taoism. Basically that there is just like this already beautiful energetic current that exists in the world, and it's evident very clearly when you spend time in nature. For example, if you watch a leaf floating down a stream or a river, it's not going back up the stream, it's just going with the flow of the current. Abraham Hicks talks about this concept of getting inside the vortex. You're either in the vortex and you're sort of flowing with life and all your abundance and magic is flowing to you, or you're out of the vortex and you feel annoyed, jaded, frustrated. And I used to watch that kind of content and I sort of would half get it, but I would still get annoyed because I was like, how am I not in the vortex? How do I get in the vortex? And the more you stay in that state, the more you're not in the vortex. So the best way, I guess, for you to get in the vortex or go with the current and the flow of life is to just have more fun. And yes, some people might say like, oh, that's bypassing, or no, I shouldn't be doing that, I'm not allowed to do that. Like, that's just a story you're telling yourself. I'm not saying don't feel through heavy emotions or don't heal wounds, but the reality is, I did a post about this recently, that Osho talks about how existence is a celebration. Existence wants you to have fun. You know, when we look at birds, as often in Australia, there's kookaburras, and spiritually speaking, with kookaburras, it's a symbol of playful laughter. And when you hear a kookaburra out there, I always connect with that. I'm like, oh yeah, they just want us to have fun. They just want us to go out there and treat life as a big playground. And I think that's such a beautiful way to just look at life, treat it like a fun project, a fun experiment that you're part of. And in doing so, you will develop your character, you'll learn that you're a lot more resilient than you ever anticipated, and you'll get more connected with your heart. And when you're living from a place that is connected to your heart, fear doesn't really exist, or if it does, it's niggling from the back. Whereas stepping into the unknown, being brave, being excited about the future is kind of where it's at. What else can I talk about? If you're feeling frustrated with life at the moment, the easiest way to kind of shift out of that state is to break up your routine. So if you have a very strict and rigid routine where maybe you're a workaholic, or maybe you're an exerciseaholic, and it actually just feels like it's becoming this mundane or begrudging thing that you have to do, and you're kind of building inner resentment, then you need to break up the cycle, kind of do like a circuit breaker where you go like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm getting out of the office, I'm going for a walk, I'm going to go treat myself to a coffee, an ice cream, a cheat meal, like whatever it is. Could be as simple as that, because you're changing your energetic state in that moment just to go like, oh, okay. And then you're kind of being open to receiving messages, signs, abundance from the universe. I had a conversation with a friend yesterday about signs and synchronicities, and like, does that mean you're like going a bit insane, or you're like going psychotic? And it was interesting because I guess for someone like myself, who I've been spiritual for quite a while now, but before I didn't know about any of this stuff, didn't know about synchronicities and symbols, etc. And obviously when I did experience psychosis, every single thing that I looked at was a symbol. And it was overwhelming, obviously. If everything you look at has like some deeper meaning, it's hard to exist in reality. But when you're, when you're in a grounded place back in life, you just have to use your discernment and make sure that you're not getting too off with the fairies and feeling like, oh my God, that's a sign, that's a sign, that's a sign. You know, you've got to just be grounded and know like, oh, okay, like I'm existing in life, I'm doing all of my spiritual practices, so to speak, whether it's meditation, breath work, yoga, looking after your body, all the different healing modalities that I've mentioned before. And being equally open to receiving messages. It could come in the sense of like a download, which is what we would describe as when you're, say, in like a meditative state, or you're just really calm and centered, and you almost feel like you have an intuitive message that comes through. For some people, it's not necessarily like another person's voice in your head. It's just like an inner knowing, or like a little nudge. It literally could be as simple as drink more water. or like, you need to do this, or like, you should call that person, or yeah, take action on that business idea. And even if you're new to this, or you don't really trust yourself at the moment, or you're like, I'm not really sure, I'm half in, half out, you don't need to make rash decisions in life. You don't need to be like, oh, just rip the band-aid off and just like hope for the best. It's coming from a place of certainty. It's like trusting that little nudge that you're getting, whether it's about reaching out to somebody, a business proposal, whatever it is that you sort of, I've got contemplating at the moment, just wait for the inner nudge that you receive. Or it could be a sign that you receive externally of you. Some people like to create what we call universal signs. So for some people it's like, oh, if I see a butterfly, that is confirmation that I'm on the right path. And so it could be a literal butterfly that you see, like a butterfly that flies past you, or it could be a butterfly you see on someone's t-shirt or on a coffee cup. And when you just allow yourself to, I guess, like, be in this childlike state of awe and wonder and go like, oh my gosh, like, I'm always in communication with the universe, with God, with a higher source, with my higher self. There's really lots of ways that people talk about this terminology of being connected to something greater than your physical form. And my belief is that your higher self, or God, is peaceful. It's very grounded. It's not fearful of anything, because it's just existing in this pure state of love. So you want to follow those kind of intuitive hits versus just what your ego is telling you, like, no, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to weasel my way through this thing, because that often backfires. And even if you get away with things for a while because you think you're just like outsmarting the universe, or you're like getting ahead of God, life has a way of always humbling you. So if you get too high up on your horse, you'll definitely come crashing down at some point. And that timing is up to the universe. So yeah, I hope this resonates for someone out there today.